Last time that I checked, we was first place. Why the hell would we care what anybody else talking about? Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. It seems like every year we got to do this and we got to have these conversations. And quite frankly, I'm just trying to end it. I'm just trying to get it out there. You know what I mean? The topic of relevance keeps coming up. And you can't deny what relevance is. You know what I mean? Let's make no mistake about this. You got some teams who are relevant because their name gets mentioned a lot. And that's the Dallas Cowboys. There's not any other franchise like it. Maybe the Steelers. Some of these dudes, they're just relevant because of that. The New England Patriots, they'll no longer be relevant. Tom Brady's gone. The New England Patriots relevancy will be gone within the next 3 years. That's just how it works in sports, unless you're the Dallas Cowboys. Now, me personally, if my team ain't winning, I don't want to hear no hype around my team. If my team ain't winning, there's nothing to talk about. It's like a slap in the face. You get your franchise hyped up every year to expect something different to happen. Now, this video is about people my age. I'm 33, who've lived to see their teams in championship games. Since 1996, there's a handful of teams that have not been to I'm not talking about a Super Bowl, a conference game. I'm talking about teams like the Lions, the Dolphins, the Texans, who could probably get a little bit of a pass, the Bengals, the Browns. Who else is in there? It's a bunch of teams. It's teams in there. The Dallas Cowboys, the Washington Redskins. You know what I mean? Let's think about this. Why aren't the Dallas Cowboys mentioned in the same light as the Dolphins, as the Redskins, as the Bills, as the Bengals, as the Browns? Why aren't they mentioned in the same light? Why? Because their relevancy is being carried by the media. I'm telling you, man, we should not be talking about the Dallas Cowboys. We should not be talking about the Dallas Cowboys going to the Super Bowl every year. They've shown you no such thing. The Dallas Cowboys have shown you no such evidence that they could do something like that. They were 8-8 last year. Romo's career, what Romo brought to the table to the NFL was a failure. Romo ain't get it done. They just don't get things done. They don't get things done, and yet and still we still talk about them like they're a Bill Belichick coach Patriots team who consistently wins. Consistently wins. To not have gone to a conference game since 1996 and think you're somebody every year is the epitome of delusion. It's the epitome of delusion. Since I've been watching football, this is not even since I've been watching football. Since after 1996. I watched the Eagles and Donovan McNabb go to, I think 4 or 5 straight NFC championship games. After 1996. I watched my team go to a 7th one that led to a Super Bowl. This is all after 1996. So how in the world can one say that the Dallas Cowboys are relevant? After 1996, I'm talking about when Clinton was in office. We've had multiple presidents with multiple terms. How can you say a team is relevant who's not made it to the championship game since 96? You have to go back to history. The Dallas Cowboys don't have a lot of stretches of relevancy. Yes, the 90s were a hot commodity. That's when the NFL was booming. The NFL started reaching the peak around the 90s. Yeah, you could talk about that stuff. That stuff can never be erased. But you haven't won shit since 1996. You have not won the conference since 1996. You have not been the best team in the NFC since 1996. Period. And you've had number 1 seeds. You've had opportunities. You just didn't get it done. So I'm not here to listen to no crying from no Cowboys fans making 13-minute videos saying that listen, this is the bottom line. And we can talk about recent history. We can talk about since 1996. We can talk about it all. It all points to the Philadelphia Eagles being being the second most relevant team in the NFC East. The only reason why we aren't the most relevant team in the NFC East since '96 is simply because the New York Giants got 2 Super Bowls. That makes them more relevant. That makes them a better franchise than us since '96. But in terms of putting your team in a winning position and getting it done, the Eagles are number one. No, come on. The Donovan McNabb era was amazing. It was amazing. It was a lot of winning. It was a lot of praise. It was a lot of hope in that era. The Tony Romo era brought none of that, but drama. Jerry Jones has found a way to channel the Dallas Cowboys fan base's emotion, to channel it. He's found a way to channel it and make money off of y'all emotion. They don't do nothing so y'all can hoist the Lombardi at the end of the year. What's relevance? What are we really talking about? Are we talking about how much your name is being spoken? Because your name gets spoken quite a lot. What's relevance? Are you relevant on the football field? No. You're not relevant on the football field. In fact, you're a laughingstock. Look at the teams that are mentioned. Look at the teams that are mentioned with the teams that have not been to a conference game since '96. They are laughing stocks, bruh. They are laughing stocks. Period. It's a few laughing stocks who not on the list, like the Buccaneers, the Falcons. You know what I mean? And the Buccaneers got a ring in their laughing stock. It's a couple laughing stocks that ain't on the list. But come on, bro. The Dallas Cowboys, in all actuality, are a laughing stock with the most fan base. They're a laughing stock with the most fans. So of course, the laughs ain't gonna be a lot because they got a big fan base. So the fan base is holding Jerry Jones down, but is Jerry Jones holding the fan base down? Come on, bro. The Eagles made the playoffs 3 straight years in a row, and you sitting here trying to tell me that the Dallas Cowboys are more relevant than the Philadelphia Eagles? Hell no. Hell no. Who's been more relevant since 2016? The Dallas Cowboys have been irrelevant since 1996. Period. The Eagles have been more relevant since 2016, obviously because we won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Obviously, we've been to the playoffs every year since we won the Super Bowl. We've been more relevant. Since 2016, y'all fired a coach. Come on. Use your head. Use your head. Your coach job is on the line every year. Every year. You can't pay your quarterback. Y'all do bad business. Come on, bro. But y'all more relevant? No, y'all more talked about. It's a complete difference. Yeah. So a lot of people have been mentioning Michael Warren. I've been looking at him. I don't think maybe I could get with guys like Gate City Sports and, we could do like a real legitimate breakdown on him. But I've been looking at him and, I'm not trying to say I'm wild, but his physicality and everything like that points to the direction that he could be a power back for us if he could show something in OTAs and in camp, if we ever have OTAs in camp. My thing about this OTAs and this coronavirus thing, I think a lot of this stuff that's important to these rookies putting their best foot forward is basically going to hinder their chances of making a roster. You got to be able to show what you could do on the field. I think undrafted free agents need OTAs, they need mini camps, they need all of that stuff, man, to be able to show that, listen, I should have been drafted and I'm a valuable member of a team. So we just got to see how that plays out. But I do like Michael Warren. I like his physical attributes. I like his toughness. I think he got the name the bowling ball. You don't get names like that in the NFL for no reason. He reminds me of quite a few running backs, man. The kid Ball that the Broncos used to have. There was another running back. I think he played for the Rams that year. The Cowboys lost to the Rams in the playoffs. His name's off the tip of my tongue. I mean, he was backing up Todd Gurley. I'll put his picture up next to this right here, man. But dude, he reminds me of guys like that. He also kind of reminds me of Eddie Lacy. You know what I mean? And a lot of those, and what those 3 guys have in common is, I mean, it's not documented for the other 2 guys, but Eddie Lacy, he got a similar build to Eddie Lacy. Prime Eddie Lacy had problems with weight control. This could be a problem for a guy with this type of stature. This guy's like 222, Michael Warren, 5'9", some people say 5'11", but it's hard to say these guys real height, man, at this point, man, with the stuff people are making up. But he has that type of body, that type of the build that screams weight problems in the future. And as productive as he was, I don't understand how he was just a 3-star candidate, man. Just a 3-star guy coming out of the combine, man. I don't know how he was only rated with 3 stars, but College is very fickle, man. So, dudes deserve a chance. We were very fortunate to pick him up. We just got to be able to implement some type of program and see what he got. Man. I mean, how are we going to properly judge talent and evaluate talent if we can't see what guys like him have? Now, we can evaluate Adrian Killins. We know he got burners. It's tape for days saying he got burners. He ain't going to get no slower unless he breaks something or unless he gain a bunch of weight. If he could keep his weight down and if he could, he actually could gain some weight and still maintain speed because he's actually undersized. Rhaegar, we know he's a physical freak. We know he's squatting like 600 pounds, benching 400, stuff like that. We know he's physically gifted. We know he could run. We know he could jump. We know he's an athlete. We know about Hightower. We know about Quez Watkins. We know what guys bring to the table without basically having to put them in minicamp. Now, with a lot of these wide receivers is, can they catch a ball from an NFL quarterback? Can they remember the playbook? You know what I'm saying? Because if Arthego Whiteside was able to get drafted as high as he was, go through mini camps and OTAs, he had a pretty good preseason game last season, still made the roster. I don't doubt that can happen for the majority of our wide receivers, honestly, man. But guys like Michael Warren, who everybody is screaming out to me, well, what about Michael Warren? What about Michael Warren? We don't need Carlos Hyde. I say to you, how do you judge what Michael Warren has if he's not going to be going through camp no time soon? If he's not going to be going through OTAs? You got to be able to put a running back on the field to see if he can pick up an NFL block, to see if he can follow direction, to see if he can hit a hole with NFL power and speed. You know what I mean? But we'll see. Let me know what you think.